Hey YouTube, how the heck we doing? Welcome to my patch 13.15 Teemo top matchup tier list. So these videos come out every so often when the game sees major changes, and in the past month we've had some major changes at top lane. So if you are confused, if you're not winning every game, if you don't know what's going wrong, this is the video for you. If you're excited as I am, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below for some more educational content coming your way, because I want you to be hitting Challenger with me. I want you to be a good Teemo main, not just a noob, all right, on the rift. So stay tuned, strap in. So this tier list is going to be S is the best matchups for Teemo, the matchups you love versing, the matchups that are easy. You're going to win the game without a doubt. And D tier is going to be the hardest matchups. Good news first, let's start with S tier matchups. Now, again, league changes so much with every patch, so be ready for more of these when other major changes go down. But let's get your call caught up for now. A lot of matchups are based on champion strengths, right? Maybe a matchup used to be hard, but now that champion stinks, now it's easy. So that's going to be a lot of your S tier matchups. I wouldn't say these are known counter picks, but more that these champions just flat out stink and Teemo doesn't stink, and you're going to poop on them because of that. That is the main reason. Dr. Mundo is my all-time favorite matchup since the rework. He's kind of been stinky since the rework. But the reason why Dr. Mundo is such a free lane, every time I lane Dr. Mundo, I get excited. I get butterflies in my stomach knowing my team's going to compliment me for being 10-0. Dr. Mundo is an HP scaling champion, so if you go Leandres, you shred him. If you go press attack cut down, you shred him, and he drops like a little wet noodle, okay? Mundo is going to be S tier and also my top pick. Now, I will say, a lot of y'all will disagree with some of the picks. I would say try and put yourself in my shoes, try and go my strategies, and verse these matchups and see the same success I have. Trundle. Trundle's another S tier pick, right? Trundle top lane has been seeing some play recently, along with Shyvana top lane. That unfortunately isn't on our tier list. But Trundle's another one of those champions that get a little tanky, but can't really do anything to you. So Trundle's an S tier pick. Really, all he has is his pillar, and if you don't get one shot by that with a gank, he doesn't have the damage, and you're blind. Supreme value versus Trundle. This is why I think Teemo belongs in pro play. Poppy is so unbelievably broken versus AD champions. But guess what? Teemo's an AP champion. Poppy cannot do anything for you. The only scary thing about Poppy is the early game, because she has a lot of poke damage, but after your first base, it does nothing to you. You literally just have to not stand by a wall, and you poop on Poppy. This is why I think Teemo belongs in pro play, because Poppy is so popular top lane. Teemo's an easy counter pick. I'm going to tackle a popular one, Garen. Garen used to be an S tier lane, but Garen's a little broken right now. If you haven't seen the Garen build, he goes, I think, Stridebreaker, Berserker Greaves, and he goes double Zeal, and he becomes a broken Juggernaut. So Garen used to be S tier, but Garen is so unbelievably strong right now. It still is a good lane, but I put it down to B tier. If you have an A tier, I'd respect that. I think it's B tier because this lane can go 50-50. It can go either way. Let's go with another similar theme here. Shen, Mr. Shen. I'm kind of just picking what champions are the most popular, what champions are memorable for me, instead of just going from S to D. I think that would be boring. I just wanted to get off to a good start with these noobs of the top lane. Shen is also going to be in B tier. Honestly, he could be in A, he could be in C, but I'm going to put him in B just with Garen. So Shen is a little scary. If he hits that taunt, you're dead, right? If you notice these lanes, they can't kill you. Mundo can't kill you if you wanted to. Trundle can't kill you. But Shen, if he goes Ignite and he hits that taunt, it is not fun. But of course, with B tier lanes, that could go either way. You could stomp lane, they could stomp you. So B tier isn't really a bad sign. I'm happy with B, A, and S tier lanes. C and D is when you start crying yourself to sleep. Pantheon. All right, Pantheon. I just first won recently and pooped on him, but I think Pantheon is C tier. Pantheon just feels so oppressive, right? He jumps on you with his stun. He has damage reduction. He has 5 million damage. I don't think Pantheon's that miserable, so he's not going in D tier. But I think he's a fair C tier. I don't think he's an easy lane. I don't think it's a winnable lane, really. But it doesn't feel like I want to cry myself to sleep. Rumble. Jesus Lord. Rumble got reworked recently. Again, these matchup tier lists depend on each patch. Just last patch, Rumble got reworked. He got a lot of damage onto his autos and his overheat function got changed. And now everybody's picking him. He's not really a broken champion, but Rumble still does Rumble things. Still one-shot you, still roam, still takes ignite. And now he's getting picked like triple the amount of times as normal. Rumble has always been the OG Teemo counter pick, but now he's a meta champion that counters Teemo. Let's get another good lane we like playing into, because Rumble is not it. Let's call on our old friend Quinn. I think Quinn's an A tier matchup, okay? It's not S tier. It's not a freebie. But Quinn has to play 5 times better than Teemo to win lane. Because what she has to do, she has to hit a skill shot in her Q. She also has to get in range with her E before you blind her. And she also has to weave in autos while doing like negative damage early game. So she doesn't really win lane. She can win lane. It's possible. That's why it's not S tier. But she's got to work 10 times harder. All you have to do as Teemo is auto and Q her every time she E's and you're good. If you eat her Q every single time, it might be looking rough, but you can take half of them because they tickle. They do barely any damage. Love versing Quinn. Lucian top. Lucian top isn't really played much anymore. So I don't even want to really include him. Lucian top was meta at one point. Not really played anymore at all. I mean, Lucian would be at C. Kale top lane. Okay, Kale is still S tier. Guys, remember when Rageblade got reworked and everybody thought Kale was going to be broken? Remember when Kale was supposed to be the most disgusting champion in League of Legends because of Rageblade? The only way Kale wins is if she lasts till 40 minutes to get 5 items. But man, does she suck. Is that a freebie or what? Just auto and Q her and run away and she dies. Oh, Mr. Solar Baka. Solar Baka on the Gangplank, D tier. Every time I verse Gangplank, and Twitch chat, please back me up here. YouTube comments, please back me up. Isn't Gangplank just a better version of Teemo? Gangplank gets free gold, has a good laning phase, has sustain, has poke and all in. Did I mention he gets free gold, has a global ult, and all you have to do is be slightly good at him. Every time I verse this champ, I feel like he's Teemo, but just better. Again, he does take a fair amount of skill to play, but I think he I don't see how this champion's balanced because he's good in laning phase and he's good and he scales and he gets free gold. It's kind of wild. Next time you versus Gangplank, look at the power spikes. Camille just got buffed, I believe. This is very important with these patch-to-patch things. Yeah, so Camille just got buffed. AD growth increased, R on hit damage increased. Okay, very important to note. These matchups always change if a champion becomes broken or not, right? So Camille, before this patch, she was S tier. This champion has been bad all of Season 13. She only exists as a counter pick to tanks. Definitely not a counter pick to Teemo, right? She has been a freebie. But now that she's gotten buffs, right? And those buffs look good. Free AD, that's insane. I'm going to move her down to B tier. Camille has always been a skill matchup because if she hits her jumping on you and you don't use your blind, you die, right? If she pokes you enough, you die. Camille's always been a skill matchup. Thankfully, she's been really bad, you know, until this patch. But now she's not bad again. Base regeneration increase, obviously good versus Teemo. W bonus armor and MR increase. So Gwen is no longer a matchup I like versing. She has been in a tough spot for a while, but even when she's in a tough spot before this buff, she's still annoying. Gwen counters Teemo. I'm not sure if y'all realize this. She literally can go immune to ranged abilities. She's Yasuo, but heals more and does more damage. Gwen is the ultimate counter pick now with these buffs. I'm not excited for this patch. You have Gwen, Rumble, and Camille all coming back in the champ pool. Very scary stuff. So Gwen is definitely a D tier matchup. It is crap. So on the topic of champs being broken and buffed and nerfed, Aatrox. If you have been living under a rock, Aatrox got buffed 2 weeks ago and became the best champion in League of Legends again. Yes, Aatrox has been broken again. But guess what? Riot did just nerf him. So instead of being the worst matchup in the game, he's now C tier. He's still insanely strong. He's still annoying. I still hate him. I still hope if you're an Aatrox main that you slip and you find $1 on the ground, because I wish no ill will on you. But if you're an Aatrox main, I'll catch you on the rift. Anyway, Zac top. Whenever I see champs like this, nobody plays Zac top. So if I see a Zac top, he's going in the A tier. I don't think it's free because Zac's kind of scary early game. But whenever people play off meta stuff, nothing to be scared of, right? Zac top's not really that picked often, so I get excited. Sure, he can kill me with a good E, but he's kind of one-dimensional, right? If he doesn't hit that E, you're looking good. Zac's in the A tier. I'll do a couple of the off-meta ones as well. Lily is the same deal. Lily is an A tier matchup. Nobody plays her top. If she's being played top, she's not Aatrox. We'll take it. Good lane. Is that a Viego top? Viego top, another off-meta pick. You know, if they lock in Viego top, who cares? Nobody plays Viego top, right? Totally fine. You just have to avoid one or two little things, all good. There needs to be an F tier for some of these matchups. Cass is in a league all her own, right? Cass is absolutely the biggest Teemo counter pick. I hate life when they pick Cass. I dodge every single time. Cassiopeia counters you at every moment of the game. She's a true counter. Level 1, she kills you by spamming E. Level 2, she has more damage than you and more poke. So on and so forth, and she outscales, and she has better 1v9 potential. If you see a Cass top, run. Nothing you can do about it. Tryndamere. So Tryndamere, a lot of people think Teemo counter Trynd. That's just not true. That's a false allegation. That's incorrect. That's ludicrous. That's a scam. That's a ruse. That's not true. Teemo is a B tier matchup, and Trynd. Trynd is a B tier matchup. It's 100% a skill matchup. When I verse Fogged, he kills me under a tower level 3 every single game. When I verse any other Tryndamere, we go even, right? And I might be able to sneak some kills. It's a very skill matchup. He is better early game, level 1 through 3, especially, even until level 5, I think. When you hit level 6, you definitely are better, but you have to finesse a lot with your shrooms. Not a matchup I get excited for. B is neutral. All right. Sylas, again, Sylas top, not played often. When I see Sylas, I get excited. He's very squishy early. If you dodge his one, again, A tier lanes are like one-dimensional. If you dodge his one chain, it's free. Oh, baby. Okay, so Jax lane. Jax has been insanely strong since his rework, and it's not fun. You used to do really good in the Jax, but not anymore, man. He is a beast. He's not F tier because it is playable. I've killed some Jaxes, but you know Jax is going to one-shot you at level 6, and he's eventually going to one-shot you every single time. It's only a matter of time. He outscales for sure and 1v1s. Jax is really miserably hard. The reason why I think Riven's an S tier matchup, regardless of what happens, I'm going to have fun. Regardless of what happens, I have a chance to win the lane. Even versus the best Rivens, you have a chance as Teemo if you take that rune page, and I really respect that. Akali, another D1, Akali, right? Well, we could put her C. Oh, C or D tier, because Akali's not really broken. She's not really strong anymore. I'm going to keep her D. This champion's insane, right? If she ever hits level 6 and presses Q on you or E, if she presses E on you, you're screwed. So Akali's going to be staying D. You can't really do anything about it. D tier matchups are those matchups where D tier is where like you're probably never going to win a matchup, but you're not dodging, right? So I think she belongs in D. This is pretty spot on. Yorick, sure. Yorick is going to be a B tier matchup. So Yorick versus Teemo. I mean, we can even go. I think C tier is more fair. Yorick versus Teemo. Yorick's not broken. He's not really strong, but Yorick does have a lot of tools to kill you. I think A tier is like one-dimensional, but Yorick can kill you a plethora of ways, right? If his maiden beats on you, if he hits you in his little circle, if he pokes you down, Yorick is very, very hard. So I think Yorick is Yorick's a different kind of demon. Also, he punishes you. If he goes to split, if you doze off for any amount of time, he takes your inhib. So I think Yorick's C. Action top, C tier. Action's playable, but it's really, really hard. His early game is so oppressive. So Action's going to get a C tier here. I think that's about it. His early game is really oppressive. That's it. Okay, Cho'Gath, that's tier. I love versing Cho. Now, Cho is a force in lane. Cho actually can pop off. But this is another rune check diff. A couple lanes are really easy to rune. You'll notice the trend here. When you're versus health stacking champions, Teemo does really well into that because you could build Leandries, because you could take cut down. Yone, sure. Yone is a B tier. Could go either way. And since we have Yasuo, so here's the difference with Yone and Yasuo. Yone has a weak early game, okay? Even level 3, Yone's not a force to be reckoned with. Yone needs level 6 to kill, okay? And Yone does not have wind wall. That makes him a B tier. He's very playable for both parties. But Yasuo is a D tier because Yasuo has wind wall. Yasuo also is one of the best champions at level 2. Yasuo's level 2 power spike is insanely disgusting. And level 3 power spike with wind wall, insanely disgusting. Diddy Kong isn't played that much anymore. I'm going to put Diddy Kong in B because he can still just jump on you and knock you up. But he's kind of nerfed in the top lane. I think they nerfed... I don't remember what they nerfed top lane about him, but he's not a top lane anymore. He's barely even a jungler. But he still does pretty well in the Teemo with his snap engage and one-shot ability. So we'll put B. Kled, another S tier banger. My tier list is being biased. I think Kled could go in A. I think Riven could go in A. But I freaking love playing these lanes, man. Kled can kill you. But again, what a lot of people don't know about Kled, you take cut down Leandries, his max HP pool for cut down Leandries is from both his forms, right? His mount and his smaller form. So cut down gives extra value, Leandries gives extra value. I think Teemo does do good in these lanes, right? Like, I think Mundo, Trundle, and Poppy, and Kale are free, but I think Teemo does do good into these lanes, but it definitely is a ball game. Either way, it's fun. That's why it's in my S tier. Renekton top, B tier, could go either way. Renekton is a good champion right now. I'm surprised how Renekton just sticks around through every meta. Kind of wild. I get excited for Renekton lanes, right? But he can kill you. It could go both ways. So B tier, be careful, winnable for both parties, respect. Warwick is just free. I mean, Warwick is just a freebie, right? We're going to put Teemo up here because he's cute. Warwick's just free top lane. I mean, he can't jump on you till level 6. You just have to not get baited for barrier, right? You just have to not get barrier baited by Warwick top. It's a freebie. Oh my god, you know what else is a freebie? Singed. Jesus Lord. Whenever I see a Singe lock in, I cream myself. The only way you can struggle versus Singe is if you let him proxy. But if you do not let him proxy, Freelo for the past 13 years. God bless Singed. He needs to become meta again in the top lane. I'm getting aroused thinking about it. Volley, I'm going to go B. Volley can be really quite outrageous early game. His early game strength is insane. I don't like it. I don't like him. And he's level 6, right? You can't do anything about it, especially if you give it cure early. So B or C. I'm going to keep it B out of respect. He's not played a lot, but it could easily be C. Tom Kench, A tier, right? Tom Kench is an early game beast. He licks you up and down your rift, of course. But he's very one-dimensional, right? If he doesn't jump on you, he can't kill you. Level 6, you can kill him very easily. Again, another rune check. Leandri's cut down, really broken versus health stackers. You may notice Leandri's cut down versus Mundo, versus Tom Kench, versus Kled, versus Cho'Gath, right? Versus these health stackers, it's insane. If you're not doing it, get with the program. Jace, C. Jace is really playable. I verse a lot of Jaces. People in Halo love playing Jace. It's insane. But he's really playable, man. His damage early game is peanuts to pumpernickels, right? When he gets one item, you have to start getting crazy. You have to start getting scared. But until he gets one item, he can't really kill you unless you're just walking into him, right? You can auto Q. You can poke him down. I often get solo kills on him. But, it really is a skill check. I think this is a pretty big skill check because it's very easy to get hit by a shock blast, but and not space properly. But I think put a little focus on maybe this tier list gives you a little confidence. But he's really fair. I think Jace is a good example of a balanced champion because a lot of Jaces are downright useless, and very rarely does a Jace feel like, God, that champ's disgusting, right? I think he's a pretty good example of balance. I like what they did with the champ. I think he's a T tier for me. I'm running out of breath. We got to wrap this up, guys, okay? Heimer top, F tier. If Heimer ever goes top, you just dodge. You don't play that lane. You can't do anything versus him ever. He puts down turrets faster than you can auto. He pokes you down. He takes your turret. He's not gankable. F tier matchups, definitely dodge if you versus these two. Thankfully, they're not in the meta, right? These counter picks are only if the enemy goes out of their way to counter pick you. Doesn't happen often. Vlad is D tier. The only reason why he's not F tier is because his early game's kind of shite. But still, if you dodge Vlad, I would understand because that champion is kind of gross. Set, I would put him S tier, but he's just kind of stinky. He doesn't have it all together anymore in the top lane, and he can just walk up to you and bonk you and kill you. So he would be S tier, but he kind of, his early game's atrocious in a good way for him, bad way for you. Darius B, very fair lane, right? Darius can hook you, but if you play decently, if you poke him, if you dodge the hook, another rune check game, press attack, celerity, nimbus cloak, movement speed, you can kill him. You can beat him very easily. And Darius isn't like a hard 1v9 anymore. So B is a fair matchup to both parties, right? Fiora, I actually love versing Fiora as Teemo. I think Teemo low-key counters Fiora. See, now I vividly remember when Fiora was broken. Remember when Stridebreaker just came out? Remember when Gore Drinker was overtuned? See, when champions are just flat out broken, the matchup changes, right? When Fiora was busted, she was my F tier pick. I remember complaining about her a lot. But now that she's not broken, Stridebreaker and Gore Drinker are normal mythics. She's a good lane, I think. I think Teemo counters her. If you dodge her one parry, you're good to go. That's the only thing she has. Ignite properly, you're looking good. Vayne, I actually think Vayne is not as easy as it looks. I think Vayne's playable, but she's not like a walk in the park, honestly. I think she, her auto Q early game is pretty dirty poke, and if she gets a push off, you're kind of looking scared. But I think we put her in A. I don't think she's that scary. Like, I don't look at Vayne the same way I look at these other champions. Urgot kind of F's you. I'm putting Urgot in C. Because he pokes, he has more range than you with poke, and he has better all in, and he has a long range ultimate to yoink you, and he has a shield, and he's tanky. So like he outscales you in the 1v1, you outscale in the team fight, but in the 1v1 when he gets an item, he kind of dicks you down. So I actually don't like that lane. C tier for sure, a hard matchup. Sion, oh man, Sion is that one pick where I think nobody agrees on. I love versing Sion. If it's up to me, I put him in S tier, right? I think he's a walk in the park. Very rarely does a Sion tilt me, but I understand this champ's kind of a demon. The boss makes Sion look not fair, and he becomes very impossible. He reaches that impossible level to kill really quickly, so I understand that he's not free for everybody. B-A, I don't know, man. I don't know. He could be A, he could be B. A would be, you know, you look forward to it. B is even skill matchup. I could see him in C or D. He can really go anywhere, honestly. We'll leave him in B to be safe. When the enemy picks Heimer against you top lane, you just dodge. It's not worth playing. And yes, Opos, in my opinion, Heimer is as bad as Cass to lean against for sure. Orn's actually one of the few tanks that give me a hard time. If you look at all the tanks on this list, Trundle, Mundo, Poppy, Cho'Gath, Colette if you want to count him as a tank, Set, Tom Kench, Zac, all the tanks usually are very easy, but Ornn is built different, bro. He's the only tank that has ranged all in, right? He can all in you as a tank from longer range than your Q because his little pillar combo. And then his ult can, you know, obviously set up a gank for free. Ornn, actually, I don't know why he isn't picked more because he's good in lane and he's pretty good in the 1v1 with his max HP damage, and obviously he scales. I don't know why he's not more popular. Maybe we'll count ourselves as lucky. Ryze used to be the OG Teemo counter pick, but Ryze is absolutely ass these days. Ryze used to be down here with Cass, but Ryze just is really bad now. When they pick Ryze, I laugh at them. You also have windows to kill him with Merc Treads. Look at the difference from Ryze and Cass. If you go Merc Treads versus Cass, it does nothing. She still poisons you, she still presses R, she still kills you. If you go Merc Treads versus Ryze, you break his root instantly, you can get multiple autos on him. He's not an easy lane, but he's not the counter Demon King anymore. We'll put him in D because he still wrecks Teemo, but it's playable. Nasus, I'm not going to lie. I'm putting Nasus in the S tier. I think Nasus counterpicks you. I think Nasus is a counter pick because he can start the game by going AP. He can start the game by out-poking you and out-sustaining you because he gets the lifesteal on Q and he puts the Spirit Fire under your foot with Doran's Ring. He out-pokes you early and then at level 6 he all-ins you very easily. You can never kill Nasus. Sure, you might be able to survive, but you can never kill him and he can always kill you. I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with this. But I think Nasus actually counters Teemo. The Wither counters him. His ability to run you down counters Teemo. Like, if he ults, you can't do anything. If you're playing action, you could jump away. If you're playing a champion with a dash, you could jump away. You can't as Teemo. I think Nasus is a counter pick. Putting him in the F. Screw you, Nasus. Rengar top also is an F tier, actually. I forgot about Rengar. Rengar top is outrageous. I hate Rengar top. Super duper insane power spiking with his champ. Rengar top is so strong level 1 with his Q, and he's so strong early game because he gets the double abilities, right? If you go for a trade on Rengar, he jumps on you, he Qs again, WE. He has 4 abilities. As Teemo, you have blind and E. You have 2 abilities. His power spiking is insane. So I think Rengar is kind of stinky. Mord, very fair lane, both parties. Mord in lower elo, I think a lot of people look at him as an F tier, okay? I think a lot of people struggle with Mord in lower elo, but I think once you learn him a little bit, he's really easy to play around. He has to hit like 3 Qs to soften you up. He's got to do a lot of work to actually kill you. I think it's a fair lane. You don't even have to build QSS. Kennen, again, I think is a fair lane. But this looks really ugly, so we're not going to do that. We'll put Kennen in C tier just because he got buffed recently and he does a lot of damage. And I don't want the B tier to be doubled because that looks ugly. So no more B tier champs. Kennen will be in C for the aesthetics. Maokai, that's Freelo, right? When you verse a Maokai top, it's just another tank. Now, Maokai is in an S tier tank matchup because Maokai can do the root combo, run away with phase rush, but he still is very easy to play. Gnar, another easy one. Gnar sucks for solo queue, right? We're not playing Teemo in pro play, okay? We're playing solo queue. Gnar's a really bad solo queue champion. It's very hard to work around his ult. No way he's picked that often. His early game is kind of stinky. Sure, he can cheese a couple kills as level 6 ult, but it's not that common. Oh, also another one. I love versing Irelia, guys. Okay, I have a little bias going. All right, I have a little bias going. The Irelia there, I love versing Irelia, okay? Also, let me double check something really quick. Okay. Boom, we're back. I love versing Irelia. I'm going to put her in my S tier. And she's pretty cute. We're going to put her over here. Irelia is a bad champion nowadays. Don't let anybody lie to you. Don't let anybody lie to you. Irelia is really bad. She's not a good champ anymore. She's okay at best. Her 1v1 potential has been shot. She's been shot at her knees, right? She's been clipped. Her 1v1 potential is okay, but she's not really that scary. Alawi is, I put her as C. I think Alawi could easily be A or could easily be C. I could see her being a fair lane or a really disgustingly annoying lane. It could go either way. I could see anywhere from A to C. I feel like Alawi's on the stronger side right now. We're just all catching up. And if she hits you with one tentacle, yoink, you're kind of screwed. Malphite is always going to be D tier champ. He pokes you early, right? He outpokes you early, and at level 6, he absolutely poops on you. Now, we're missing a few matchups. Olaf would be F tier. Cassante would be B tier, because Cassante is a pretty even skill matchup, and Olaf is downright disgusting. Olaf would be F. If Teemo's Olaf, boom, one of the hardest counters in the game. So that is my Teemo top lane tier list. I got every top lane champion that's meta. Let me know about your comments down below, and let me know what tier list you want to see next. Thanks for watching.